Someone revive me quick. My soul's leaving my body. All my fellow book nerdies. I hope everybody's been having a fantastic week. Real quick, let me know down in the comments below, what would you say your favorite book of the month of March was? I personally had a really wild month. I managed to read 12 books in the month of March. I am so proud of myself. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to get through so many. Was starting to think that maybe I am just giving 5 stars out like candy on Halloween, because some of these books were just sitting right with me, and we just have to talk all about them. So let's get right into it. So the first 3 books that I read in the month of March were Nora Roberts' books, one of my all-time favorite authors. And there's just something about her writing that's just so raw and honest. The fact that I've been reading books for a very long time, I still to this day have a hard time predicting where her stories are going to go. And I think that's one of the things that I love the most about it. I mean, you think you have the story pegged, you think you know where it's going to go, just to realize that you were going in the wrong direction. Okay, you were playing softball for the first time, and when someone told you to run home, you were actually running home. You weren't actually running to a base. Okay, if you've seen that movie, let me know. That's kind of what it feels like when I read a Nora Roberts book. The first book was Irish Thoroughbred, and this was about a girl whose parents died when she was young, so she's raised by her aunt on a farm. Then her aunt dies, and so she ends up moving to the Americas to be with her uncle. Works on this like racehorse farm where she meets the owner of this said racetrack. It's their love story, and it's just such a beautiful story. It has a lot of Irish lore in it. It was all about her adapting to a new society, a new people, a new country, how busy like everything was. And she has this like Irish temper. And oh man, I just loved it. It was a very soft, very light, very subtle book. It wasn't a lot of suspense and will they, won't they. It was just a sweet, normal, easy love story. And it was just absolutely beautiful. So then I went straight into book 2, which was Irish Rose. Now, Irish Rose is about the cousin of the main character from the first book. She ends up moving to the Americas as well. She gets a job with her cousin's neighbor, who basically hires her to be his bookkeeper. But honestly, he met her in Ireland, and I think he kind of fell in love with her right then and there. And so he was just coming up with excuses to get her to the Americas, and she really wanted to go. She felt like she was stagnant where she was at. She's from a big family, and she just felt like she was going nowhere, and she saw like big things for herself. She didn't want to be on the farm anymore. And so she took the opportunity, and then again, it's their love story and how they fell in love. And he has kind of this dark past. The ranch that he owns and runs is also a racetrack. He won from a poker game. Okay, so he's very much a gambler, very much a rogue. He's had to pick himself up by his own bootstraps, and he's had a hard life. So she kind of heals him. From there, I went straight into book 3, which was Irish Rebel. Now, in Irish Rebel, the main character girl is actually the daughter from the main character girl. She's like all grown up, which is great because I got to see her when she was little from book 2, and it was, I loved it. She falls in love with a guy that her dad hires on to become the new racetrack trainer, and he's straight from Ireland. And so these two kind of fall for each other, but you know, he's got his mindset that she's got to be some kind of princess. When they first meet, they kind of have this way of thinking that this is the way these people are, like these prejudice. Come to find out that they ended up being so wrong. And then they just, it was a good story. Now, granted, in the third book, I feel like the ending didn't tie as well as the other 2 books did. At the end, I felt like it was open-ended, and I'm just kind of like, so I was a little dissatisfied with the ending of book 3, but I mean, it was a happily ever after ending. It just wasn't as awesome as the first 2. It didn't close it as well. So this is a trilogy series. It's called the Irish Hearts trilogy. It was an overall 4-star for me. Irish Thoroughbred, 4 stars. Irish Rose, 4 stars. And Irish Rebel, 4 stars. I did a whole vlog reading these 3, and so if you're interested in that, you should go check my channel out, and you'll get to see firsthand my thoughts as I was reading them. And then I finished one of my Death Before Dragon rereads. I am listening to it on audiobook. I finished book 5, which is False Securities. I could go on about these books forever. I love Zav, book boyfriend Hello, and I love Val too. She's amazing. I love the both of them together. Like, she is just so spunky. She's opinionated, and she can't help but be snarky. It's like, even in her own brain, she's like, someone says something to her, she's like, no, I shouldn't, I really should not. But then out comes the words anyways, out comes the vomit, you know? And then she's got this like white tiger, and he's always just looking at her like, why? Do you have a death wish? I mean, he would stick up for her. Like, he would die for her, but it's still, he's always just like, why are you doing this? Our lives would be so much easier. But it's also hilarious because he loves to fight. So I think they really fit because she definitely gets herself in a lot of fights. But Zav also loves her for that. He's always like telling her one of the things that he loves about her is the fact that she has a way of vexing his enemies. And she does. Oh my goodness, she does. A little bit about that. I know I talk about Val and Zav a lot, but if you've never heard of Death Before Dragons series, basically you have this woman who's half elf, half human. She's older. She's like me, like in her 40s, but she doesn't look like it because of her half elfness. She still looks like she's like in her 20s, basically. She has a daughter and an ex-husband that she's pretty much been avoiding, trying to stay away from because her life is dangerous and she doesn't want to involve her family and she doesn't want them to get hurt. She hires herself out to like the military and stuff. She's like a mercenary or a bounty hunter in a way, I guess. But it's for the magical folk. So it's her job to go in and investigate when anomalies happen that are probably involving the supernatural, because if you don't have supernatural blood in you, you don't know that you're surrounded by like werewolves and trolls and ogres and dragons. You can't see them. And then along comes Zav and he's all righteous and, we don't kill people that are magical people that are doing bad things. They're just trying to survive too. And, we need to take them to our dragon court for rehabilitation, which, she's always making fun of that, by the way. Yeah, she meets Zav, and of course they don't like each other at first. They definitely grow on each other, and he definitely falls for her, but he's also like, I'm really powerful, and I'm gonna bring so much danger to you, and she's just like, I sleep with one eye open. Like, because she's had assassins break into her home, but it's just a very well-balanced story, and it's very action-packed, and I'm loving my reread. 5 stars. It was a 5-star my first time. It was a 5-star my second time. I'm going through another reread. 5-star my third time. Love this series. Anyways, moving on. Then, from there, I went into probably the thickest book that I read in March, and that is The Dawn of the Cursed Queen by Amber V. Nicole. Oh, you guys, reading this book was like having an out-of-body experience. By the end of this, it's like, get someone revive me quick, my soul's leaving my body. This series is just so good. It's God-tier series for me, and you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. There is very rare that I'm reading a series and I love every single book as equally as I did the others. Zodiac Academy is a perfect example. I loved books 1 through 4. They were 5-star reads. Book 5 tanked. There's usually a book here or there that are just like, no. This series, epic series. I love this series. Okay, you've got the FMC Diana, who basically sells her soul off to this bad god in order to save her sister who was dying, then makes a pact with him. So for like thousands of years, she's working with this guy doing really bad things, all in the name of trying to keep her sister safe. In the beginning of the story, like all of these events happen. That wakes up the world ender, Samkiel. He comes down to Earth. They end up meeting in an epic battle, and he obviously defeats her, imprisons her. And so she tells him, hey, I'll make a pact with you. There's this book that you're trying to find. I will help you find that book if you promise to keep my sister safe. And they go on this epic quest. Oh, you guys, this series is so raw and so honest, and it touches on the darker parts of ourselves. Diana goes through so much in this series, and so does Samkiel. The way that they get through it, it's just incredible. And I cannot wait to get into book 4. Oh my gosh. Yes, please sign me up. I need to find out what happens. And then on top of that, when I first started this series, I thought it was just a 4-book series and then it was going to be done, right? So I wasn't in any hurry to read it super fast. I wanted to really take my time, go slow, immerse myself in it, really enjoy it. And then I just found out that there is a book 5 coming out. And not just that, I think it's supposed to be like a 6-7 book series. The author said, this series isn't done, y'all. There's more books coming out, and I am stoked. I think book 5 is supposed to come out in like October or November. So I really got to get to book 4 and make sure that gets done so that when book 5 comes out, I will be ready. Yes. Never a disappointment. 5 stars. Epic. I wish I could give it 6 stars, honestly, but this book was just so incredibly good. From there, I went out of fantasy a little bit and I read Beneath the Hood by Emily McIntyre. And this is a book 3 in the Sugar Lake series. Okay. First off, I'm going to say I gave this book a 3 stars. I know. Okay, let me talk. Let me talk. If you're a fan of the series, like, just hear me out. I could not get over the age gap. Maybe if she was like 25, 26, something like that, maybe I could have done it. I mean, actually, I probably could have if she was older. You guys, she was 19. She was still a baby. She was barely out of high school, and he was like much older than her. And I just couldn't get over the ick factor. I'm a mother. It changes you. And you don't see certain things the same anymore. And I could not get over that at all. And it dogged me this entire book, and I struggled to get through it. And I will also admit, too, that I had just read The Dawn of the Cursed Queen, and I was feeling a little bit slumpy after that book because that book was so epic. I genuinely feel that, like, no matter what book I would have read after that one, it wasn't going to feel as good and it was going to hit as right. I mean, sometimes that happens. You read such an epic book, and no matter what you read after that, it's just, it's not giving itself its due justice. I think that's why, in part, I did end up giving this a 3 star, because honestly, there was several times I just wanted a 1 star or DNF it. I really did want Jackson's story because he was one of my favorite of the series. I am glad that he finally got to get away from his best friend and that whole love relationship thing that he had, where he realized he wasn't actually in love with her. She was the daughter to his boss in the movie industry. He was working on cars for the movies. He gets tasked with babysitting her basically from his boss because, she's always out partying and things like that. He ends up seeing her. She has been through a lot. Her mom died when she was first born, and she ended up with all these problems. I would say check your trigger warnings for this entire series, because this entire series has some kind of something going on, but she struggles with her body complexes, like eating disorders. She was hurting herself in ways like with food and over exercising. He just kind of sees her and he helps take care of her in a way that nobody had done before. It was a sweet love story. It was amazing, and I loved how he did see her and how he did help her. But again, age gap. So from there, I was ready to move on. My book club finally chose a book for the month of March. So I got right into that book. We voted on it. It actually ended up being really, really good. And now I cannot wait to read the next book when it comes out. And that's Half City by Kate Golden. You guys, this book was really, really good. I gave it a 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I mean, it gives you definite academia vibes because she goes to an academy. So her dad dies when she's little, and she witnesses the death. They're this like secret, like demon hunting family made of this certain type of blood that's supposed to not exist anymore. And if anybody finds out about her particular type of blood, then they would kill her. She has been hiding out in this city by herself after her dad died, doing demon hunting by herself. Her family, her friends, nobody knows. And then suddenly she meets up with this demon who just so happens to be like a good demon, right? He changed sides. And he's working as a professor at this academy for, you guessed it, demon hunters. And he tells her, hey, there's this academy that she didn't know about, full of demon hunters that go and they train and they get certificates in order to be able to go out into society. And she's just like, I don't need that. I've already been fighting demons in this city by myself. I don't need the training. And he's like, yeah, you may not think you need it, but just imagine how many people you could save and how many people you could help by going to this academy. So she does. She ends up going. She ends up making some friends, which is great for her because now she doesn't have to hide who she is anymore. She doesn't have, she does. She still has to hide her type of demon hunter blood. She doesn't have to hide the fact that she's a demon hunter. People get that. And she gets to talk to them, and she makes friends and goes to these classes. All of these events happen, and like the cliffhanger at the end, a very, very good book. And I was expecting certain things to be the ending of this book, and it wasn't. So, but I do feel like my idea in my head is going to be kind of heading that way in book 2, but we'll just have to see. But again, really good book, 5 stars, amazingly great time. From there, I went to Twisted Love. This is the first book in the Twisted series by Anna Wong. I am reading her Kings of Sin series as well, and I haven't finished that series. So I was like, do I really want to start another series when I haven't finished her other ones? Yes, let's do it. I loved this book. It was a sweet read. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was a great time. You've got Alex Volkov, who went through a tragedy when he was little, and it's like he kind of turned his feelings off and went straight into revenge, and so he's kind of cold-hearted. And then you've got Ava Chen, who is Alex's best friend's little sister. Her brother leaves and he tasks Alex to take care of Ava while he's gone. And so they end up being put together, like kind of forced together. It kind of just goes from there. And, you know, he's kind of got this hard exterior, but she sees him underneath all of that anger. And so like all of these events happen and it's just all about her working with him and getting him to open up. It's just, oh man. It was a very, very good story, and I absolutely ate it up. And I got to meet a bunch of other characters, which I'm pretty sure are going to end up being the characters in other books. And book 2, I've already read the synopsis for book 2, and I'm really looking forward to it because it's going to have the whole bodyguard trope. Yes, I'm looking forward to the Twisted series. It's going to be twisty and curvy, and I'm here for it. Okay, from there, I went into another fantasy book. Oh my gosh. Daughter of No Worlds. You guys, Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. I cannot believe this book has been on my TBR shelf for so freaking long and I haven't read it. It was incredibly good. I ate this up like super fast. Have to read book 2. What the heck, Leo, you guys. It was incredible. I loved the story in it. I loved the dynamic between the FMC and the MMC. It was a slow burn, yes, but it was like the perfect type of slow burn, okay? It wasn't over dramatic. It wasn't like Spark of the Everflame. Now that is a really slow burn. Okay, no, this one was like the perfect amount. This was like another God tier book for me. I loved it that much. It kept me guessing. She like goes through so much, and just in the beginning of the book, you're reading it and you're going, oh my gosh, we're not even 10 pages in and she's already been through hell and back. I mean, what else is this girl going to go through? Because you know, if it happened in the beginning, then it's going to be more epic. And it was, and I'm just going, whew. I mean, there's certain aspects in here that reminded me of one of my husband's books series. It was like a sci-fi RPG style book and it was called Battle World. And I'm not going to tell why if you haven't read this book, but there was some things in there that kind of gave me that vibe. In this book, you have Tishana, and she was a slave and she manages to escape her slave owner and escape across the seas to the Tower of Order. And they're this organization of magic wielders. And she has magic. So they take her in and they send her to Max Antarius, Max for short. He ends up training her so that she can become part of the order and then get the order's help to go back to her home country and free the people that she had to leave behind. Max Antarius is also a broken man who's been through a lot and he's been betrayed and he just wants to be left alone. He just wants to sit in his little cabin out in the woods, planting flowers and just be left alone. But then he gets stuck with her. So then he ends up training her. And it's like that whole love story between the two of them and how it grows and how it builds. But it's so subtle and it's just so beautiful how it all comes together, how he gets pulled back into this world with all this fighting and stuff. And you have to feel for him. And you know, honestly, I was talking to my husband. I was like, sometimes I feel sorry for the MMCs in this book. People don't talk about it, right? Like it's all about the FMC and it's about all of the horrible stuff that she's going through and the things that she has to do in order to survive. And she has all this weight on her shoulders because there's all these people that are depending on her to save them, to save the country. A lot of the times these MMCs like Max Antarius here, he'd been through so much, so traumatized. He'd been through hell and he gets thrown back into everything that he didn't want to be a part of anymore. And he does it for her. Their love was worth it. Tishana was worth it. I'm not saying that what he did was wrong. Like, I get why he's doing it, right? It's basically the love that's saying, I will go through hell again because it's you and because I love you and we're going to be in this together. And it's so sweet and it's so beautiful. Poor MMCs in a lot of these books that get pulled back into so much destruction and nightmares, you know, for the women that they love. I mean, can we just take a minute to stop and think about these poor MMCs? But yeah, anyways, 5 stars. Absolutely love this book. Cannot wait to get into book 2. So many good books this last month, you guys. I don't even know. I read them and like instantly I'm going and I'm picking up book 2 and I'm purchasing book 2 and they're like all these are on their way and I'm going, oh my God, what am I going to do? Where do I start? Where do I start? There's just so many. So the next I went into Daydream. This is book 3, I believe, of the Maple Hills series. I'm wanting to think this was book 3. Yes, it was. Okay, and this is Henry's story. Such a cute story, you guys. I thought it was absolutely adorable. I gave this a 4 stars. It was just the cutest book, and I absolutely loved Henry. Henry's been one of my favorite characters in the Maple Hills series from the very, very beginning. So you have Henry and you have Haley, and they kind of meet up because he's failing a class. She's taken that class before, and so she kind of knows how the professor works, and she got along with him really well. She kind of helps Henry be able to pass his class, and he helps her because she's trying to write a romance novel for a competition, but she realizes that if she was in a very toxic relationship and she's kind of like a people pleaser and she's never really lived with herself before, and she realizes that she's never had any experiences, and she's like, how can I write a book when I have done nothing? So then he's like, I tell you what, let's do that. Let's go on dates and stuff. We're not actually dating, but let's go out on dates. I'll give you experiences. The only thing I ask of you is that you don't fall in love with me, because it probably will happen. I don't know. It was just a very cute story. He definitely had some issues. She had to help him deal with them also while dealing with her own. And he kind of helped her be brave and to branch out on her own and live her own life instead of living her life for other people. And they just very much grew together. And it was just a beautiful tale. It was everything that I was hoping it was going to be. And it was a really, really good time. Then, you guys, we went into A Tribute of Fire by Sarah Wilson. Okay, this is on my 26 books I want to read in 2026. This is on that list. And this has been on my TBR shelf for quite a while. Oh my gosh, you guys, book 5 stars. 5 stars all the way. Not quite a God tier book for me, mainly because there was some things in the middle that were just, they kind of bored me, especially because the beginning of the story was so epic. Like, so much happened. It was such an information dump, and there was like a battle scene on a ship and a dragon, and like so much went down in like the first half of the book. And then you get to the middle and it was just like, it was like nothing was going on. I mean, maybe if that would have been the beginning of the book, but because so much happened prior, it was just like, oh. I will say that I definitely predicted who everybody was in this book. It was not lost on me. I mean, if you've read as many books as I am, you learn to know certain subtle things, okay? Like if an MMC or an FMC or a side character are being very cryptic with the things that they tell you about who they are, you pretty much know that they're going to be someone pretty big in the story. In The Tribute of Fire, this is book 1. Her name's Leah, and she's a princess from a certain kingdom that has been cursed by a goddess. In this curse, their land's pretty much dying. They've been cut off from the world. Nobody from the other countries want to help them because they're afraid of risking the wrath of the goddess. So then you have this other kingdom, Ilion, that's kind of like in charge of their punishments. And so once every year, 2 maidens from her country are chosen to go to Ilion, to the capital city, and they have to run a race. And they have to run from the docks all the way to the temple. If they make it to the temple, then they are safe, they're protected, and they then become acolytes that worship the goddess. Of course, it's not just any simple race. They're being hunted by anybody who wants to participate that lives in the city. Guards, like anybody, right? They're actively being hunted. And this has been going on for like over 1,000 years, and never once has any maiden actually ever made it to the temple. They've all died. Ends up not just being her that gets picked, but her sister also gets picked too. And so now, not only does she have to try to survive, but she has to try to protect her sister too. And along the way, she meets a sailor. She has this instant connection to him. She feels like almost like their souls are connected, but he's an Ilion man from this other country, so she doesn't want to trust him, but at the same time, she feels like he wants to help her, like she feels drawn to him despite all of that. Again, it was a really good book. Despite the middle part being a little bit boring, I understand it was kind of necessary for all of the storytelling and the building, because we're learning as she's learning, and it's just kind of a whole thing. But yeah, again, 5 stars. I have the second book on its way right now. Yes, please. Okay, and then my last book for the month of March was also another book that was on my 26 books that I wanted to read in 2026, and that is Curse of Shadows and Thorns by L.J. Andrews. This is book 1 in the Broken Kingdoms series. Okay, this is the long series, by the way. The books are small, but I think it's like 9 books in the series. That's a lot, okay? But again, at least they're smaller. It's not like Zodiac Academy that's like 9-book series and each book's like 7,000 pages. I actually just finished this last night and I am just... The story kind of reminds me of a couple different other like fantasy romance books that I've read, like a whole compilation of all of them, but still it was so good. So you got this girl, her name's Elise, and she's like a second princess of the second family. So her uncle's the king, which is the brother to her mother, and she's the second daughter in that family. There's some incest going on too, by the way. I'm just saying, because her sister is set to marry their uncle's son. So they're cousins, and they're set to get married. And so her sister's set to become queen someday. Her uncle holds the life of her ill father. He's taking care of her father, and he's basically telling her, you're going to get married, and if you don't, I'm going to rescind all of the healing that I've been doing for your father, and he's going to die. So he hires this negotiator, and the negotiators in the end end up picking who the woman goes to. The woman doesn't get to choose. She just has to go where the negotiator tells her. But this negotiator is different, and as they get to know each other and talk, like have to interact, like he is surprised by her because he didn't expect her to be the way that she ended up being, and vice versa. And they fall for each other like hardcore. She's so different than everybody else. She believes differently than everybody else. She doesn't want the evilness that her uncle and her cousins and her sister and like all of those people believe. She doesn't like the way that people are being treated, but she doesn't feel like she has any power to do anything because she's a nobody. So then they kind of band together, and then a coup happens, and then she's like on the run, and then she ends up with her negotiator, his name's Legion. He protects her, but she starts learning things about him that she did not know. And so now she's like torn. What does she do? Stay and help her people, or does she choose to believe and trust in this man that she fell for, who isn't who he claimed he was? So much happened in it. So fast paced. I mean, it kind of helps because it was, it's a smaller book. So much went on. Like, you could just feel the tension and the romance between Elise and Legion. You guys, like, L.J. Andrews, oh man, did they build an amazing story. Like, there's so much going on, so much you want to know, so much you need to find out. If you haven't read the series, you should definitely give it a try. If you have Kindle Unlimited, this series is available on there for free, obviously with a Kindle subscription. Anyways, that is all the books that I read in March. I'm so excited. Like, it was an incredible month, and I cannot wait to find out what April gives me. I'm a bit nervous because, like I said, I read some epic books. I don't know what's going on with this year so far, you guys. The books I've been reading have been insanely good, and I'm worried that when I get hit with a slump that it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and go. If you are new to my channel, if you have followed me all the way to here, thank you guys so much. You might as well stick around, subscribe. I've got so many more videos coming. In my next video, I'm actually going to be talking all about a new series that I am starting, that I'm going to be changing some things up. It's going to be really fun. I cannot wait. And that'll be in my next video. Don't forget to hit that like button, you guys. It helps get my videos out there to more people. And that's the best way that you guys could support me and my small little channel, just by hitting that like button. And I would so appreciate it. I hope everybody is enjoying their time. I'm hoping you guys are getting some sunshine. We definitely have, but apparently we've got more snow on the way. So I'm going to go out and enjoy the last bit of sunlight that I'm going to have today, and probably do some reading outside. I love to read outside. Just sitting in my hammock with my book. It's just, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I will see you guys in my next video. Keep reading. Bye.